Hi, I'm Marina Abraham, and welcome back to Heard It All. It's officially spring on campus, meaning there's a lot of exciting events happening at Howard. From campaigns to Spring Fest and probates, we have news for you. This campaign season was nothing short of exciting and competitive, with tabling events, crossfires, and pageants. We'd like to give a special congratulations to our newly appointed Mr. and Mrs. Howard University, Miles Francisque and Ssanyu Lukoma. Our Heard It All reporters, Zoe Little and Anaya Northern, interviewed the Mr. and Mrs. Howard-elects. Let's take a look.
I plan to continue legacy and keep the tradition going is by showing the Howard community that not only are we connected, that we have so many opportunities, we have so many resources to stay connected in more ways than just academic or professional. We have ways that students can just reach out to you and be like, hey, just taking time out of your day to show that you really care. Show students that it's more than just a title. It's more than just a role on campus. It's actually a position of service.
Yeah, I like the putting your mind to it thing. I feel like a lot of people overthink, and when it comes to student leadership, they think they can't go into those roles or those positions if they don't have certain qualifications beforehand. When in reality, I'm someone that didn't run for a campus crown. I didn't have an elected student leadership position, but I think that when you fully step into yourself authentically and you're able to rally people around a common goal that is for the betterment of everyone involved, it can really show you that you don't necessarily need to be in a specific box or have a specific platform before having access to these leadership positions. In terms of honoring the legacy, the way I want to do that is by being authentically myself. And I know that was a focal point for a lot of people throughout my campaign, was that they felt like it was a very much Ssanyu Lukoma, Ssanyu speaks, very Ssanyu coded. And I wanted it to feel that way because I wanted to showcase to students that you don't have to change who you are in order to be inspiring to people or in order to give a voice to people that may not have been heard otherwise. What the role means to me now is being a friend to everybody on campus and to be a role model for students who are interested in attending Howard University. I know I was that kid who was frothing at the mouth every time I heard about Howard. I wanted to go to Howard so bad, and not just Miss Howard University, but the Houston presidents, the directors, the presidents of the councils, all those people were really great role models to me because they were examples of what excellence in leadership looked like, not just in college, but at Howard, which was the place I wanted to be. So between all of those things, I think overall it really just boils down to me having the platform and opportunity to be a friend that genuinely listens to all students on campus and having the platform to do something about what they're saying, but also being a role model to students who are interested in coming here in the future. And my honest answer to that was, how am I supposed to address problems and advocate for you if I don't even have a seat at the table? Mm-hmm. And now I have a seat at the table. Now I can genuinely listen to people's concerns and be a creative problem solver, which is what I feel like my purpose is to be as a human being. I want to help people solve problems in a creative way. I want to give platform to people who don't usually get to voice their issues. And overall, I'm somebody who is an activist at heart. So whichever space I'm in, I'm going to be an activist for people's voices who aren't in there. There are non-Black students at Howard University. There are students with a lot of financial problems at Howard University. There are students who have issues that they don't feel comfortable voicing, and they need somebody to be that voice for them. And I'm confident and I'm so blessed for the opportunity to be in a position where I'm able to be that voice for them. But I think activism is a baseline overall.
But for me, being an activist is always taking that next step forward to try to enhance it or try to go beyond what you previously did. If I went to a garden and I did planting plants or helping clean up campus, I want to go beyond that by helping clean up a more DC community, helping clean up communities that are outside of DC.
So one of my programs that I want to do is called the Little Royals program, and it's a 2-part series. So essentially it would be a 4 to 6 week program starting next semester, where we would mentor middle school students at Howard Middle School. So the Royal Court would go in, we would be able to talk to students about issues like entrepreneurship, about organization, about college planning, getting them started early, because I was a kid that knew what college I wanted to go to when I was 12. At that time, it was Harvard because that's where my dad went. But eventually over time it changed. I love my HBCU, but I was so college oriented at a young age that really set me up for success. Now, as a student at university who did dual enrollment in high school, who learned how to read a syllabus and understand how to organize myself, those type of things are so important to instill in young students. So I really want us to be able to go in and help them with that, but I also want them to get them started early with HBCU pageantry. So I want to be able to do a program where we're able to do that mentorship, but then also it culminates into a pageant. And the Little Royals would be the Little Miss Howard University and Little Mr. Howard University. And the metrics for that pageant will be based on the things that they learned throughout the process of our mentorship program. So that's one thing that I'm really excited to do. I am hoping it can come to fruition because it will be able to impact so many students, but it would also be able to break the mold of what people think pageantry is, because it's much more than just being a pretty face. It's about understanding what leadership truly looks like and being an ambassador for that idea. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm excited for. There are a lot more, but I love working with kids. So that's one of my biggest ones.
So with me, I love to combat the academic and personal lives of Howard University, the personal issues, the academic issues. So straight out the gate, which is guaranteed access to everything, I want to be able to create a Google form or Microsoft form on the Royal Court page where students can fill out any internship, scholarship, program, fellowship, externship, any opportunity that they've had in the past or that they know of, or even that their family can fill out, that their friends from other schools have been a part of. It's not just applicable to Howard University students, it's applicable to anybody. So this form would be accessible to all students on the Royal Court page. You can send it out to whoever. And this form, you fill out the information about the internship, your experiences, your friend's experience, the contact information, a short summary of like why you did it, and also, again, the contact information of said person for the internship or for that opportunity. Then following that, going to create a spreadsheet on the Royal Court page as well, which will be updated every month by myself. Staying up to date with it. Any new opportunity that comes in, I'll stay up to date with it every month so that students can have 24-hour access to new opportunities so that they're never missing the chance to, find something that they want to do in their career goals, even outside of their career goals.
My entire brand is diversity oriented. I think in whatever I do, I want to give a platform to as many different voices and perspectives as possible, especially because I'm someone who is half Ugandan, half Trinidadian. I was raised in suburban New Jersey and my mom was raised in Brooklyn. So I have a very diverse experience in terms of my childhood when it comes to the Black diaspora. And one thing I know is that not just as a student leader, but as a human being, it's our responsibility to listen to people. The only way that we're going to empathize with others is if we're listening to people. So I want to create spaces where students can genuinely not just express themselves, but talk about things that make others uncomfortable. They can talk about the issues and the problems they see at Howard University in a way that doesn't need to be censored or be palatable to not just students, but people overall that they may feel uncomfortable with sharing their perspectives with, so that we can actually learn how to address those issues. Because when we have a campus as diverse as Howard University, we have problems that are diverse across Howard University. So the only way that we're actually going to be able to address those is by first starting with a place where they can talk, where they can share what is going on, and where they don't feel confined to societal expectations / limitations, because we have a very large, I don't want to say silencing culture here, but a lot of people have the mindset of what happens at Howard stays at Howard. And the only way that we're going to address those problems is if people don't feel uncomfortable to share them even within their own community.
I do want to echo a really good point that Ssanyu made. Being comfortable with the uncomfortable, having those conversations that some people might be afraid to have. Because at Howard, like Ssanyu said, like there's sometimes like a silence at Howard, and sometimes that silence has to be broken, whether it's by yourself or whether it's by the impact that you make in someone else's life. So really stepping into spaces where you might not feel comfortable, like I said earlier, like stepping into spaces where you might not feel comfortable, where you might have to be that person that, sparks a conversation, that sparks the light of hope in somebody's eyes to want to be a change. So I would say for me, like the impact that I hope to leave is to, like, really echoing what Ssanyu said, but like showing students that, you have to be uncomfortable with the uncomfortable in order to take that next step forward. Because there's never going to be a perfect time for a lot of things in life, and you have to really learn how to adjust. You have to learn how to navigate those situations and those opportunities, because life is going to throw a lot of curveballs at you. Life is not going to always be a straight line. It's going to have zigzags. It's going to have curves. It's going to have roundabouts. You're going to be running in circles sometimes, and you have to be able to not only learn how to navigate them, but also rely on people to help you as well, because at Howard we have to be a community that's going to connect with each other and not separate each other. So I want students to be able to learn from that.
Great work, Zoe and Anaya. Thank you. Just a reminder that SpringFest is quickly approaching. Starting April 13th up until April 18th, all roads lead to the yard. So mark your calendars and stay tuned for some exciting events. Thursday, April 17th, Story District is hosting its third annual Behind the Headlines here in Washington, D.C. at Penn Social from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. At this event, you'll hear directly from the people behind the news, stories that shows the personal side of journalism, and a night of honesty, perspective, and connection. Get your tickets for Behind the Headlines on their website at www.storydistrict.org. On Friday, March 27th, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated had its Alpha Chapter probate, inducting its new members into the fraternity. Alongside them on Saturday, April 4th, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Alpha Chapter and Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated Alpha Chapter held their probates to induct new members into their sororities. Stay tuned for more exciting updates, because we have news for you, starting with more coverage of Howard University's SpringFest. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maureen Abraham, and don't forget where you've heard it all.